Alright everybody, my name is Aaron Allshouse. I'll be your instructor today. A couple of the things I want to cover in the What's New for HeavyBid 2017 is going to be our new help functionality. Everything is going to be web-based now instead of the old F1 help menu. We're going to show you how to price child bid items. We're going to show the new audit trail filters as well as the audit trail report. We're going to discuss integration points with our HCSS safety product. We're going to cover production history search and edit functionality, which is a new feature for 2017. And we're going to show you our Richardson estimating integration. All right, let's go ahead and let's jump into HeavyBid. So the first key point that I want to talk about is our new help site integration. So Jason showed you the help.hcss.com website. That is where all of our new help articles are going to be placed. And just like our old help system, to access quickly our new help site within HeavyBid, all you need to do is hit F1. Instead of taking you to the old help screen, it's going to take you to our new help website. For instance, I've got subtotal setup selected in HeavyBid. If I simply hit my F1 key, it's going to bring up the new help side, and it's going to automatically load an article on how to set up and view subtotals in HeavyBid 2016. You can do that through a multitude of the screens within HeavyBid. You can also go up to the top and select a subcategory, or you can also click on the search and key in whatever you'd want to know. Self-performed work, for instance. And you will see below that, as I was keying it in, I was getting suggestions, but I can also click on how to use self-performed work. And that'll bring up all the prerequisites, the preferences you need to set, as well as actually using it. Alright, let's head back into HeavyBid, and we're just going to kind of go down that list on the agenda that I showed you. So we're going to take a look at child bid item pricing. So child bid item pricing is a new feature within HeavyBid 2017. Prior to 2017, all you could price was the parent level bid item. And what we mean by parent-child relationship is in the tree view you have a parent bid item, and below that you have what we call child bid items associated underneath that. And within those child bid items we have our activities. To price those, we're simply going to go to the bid pricing screen. To get to bid pricing, you can go to summary and pricing, or under the shortcut menu you can click on the stack of coins. That's also going to take you to bid pricing. Now, our bid pricing screen is going to look exactly the way it always has. To access our price child bid items, we're going to right click on the parent item and we're going to click on price child bid items. And that is going to bring up our price child bid items screen. From here you'll get a list of all of your parent items in the top section, and depending on which parent item you have selected, it's going to show you the child items associated with that parent item in the second grid. What we can also do is we can prorate down the bid total for the parent item into our child items. You'll see here this one has already been prorated, and you'll see the bid price for each bid item has already been entered. You can also clear those prices. You'll see now they've been back down to 0. You can click the checkbox for the parent item you want and prorate the price, and it'll prorate it all the way down. Bid price obviously is our unit price, and then bid total is our extended price. You will see what our parent item bid price is up at the top, and then below is the sum of our child totals. You can manipulate these however you choose, and then it's going to give you a running total as well as a difference from your parent item. Once these changes are made, they will not be reflected back up to the parent item in bid pricing. What you can do now is you could actually export this out to Excel if you need to show your child pricing to a contractor or to whoever you're submitting your bid to. What you want to take note of is now your new sub of your child items. If you want that to be the subtotal of your parent, now you can go back in to your bid pricing screen and set an item total for that to make your changes accordingly. So in this case, we have $153,749. I can come in my bid price, set my item total, $153,749, and now that would match whatever changes I made to my child bid item pricing. All right, let's go ahead, let's move on to Audit Trail. Now, Audit Trail is a comprehensive only feature, so if you go back to the office and you don't have this, more than likely you're on basic or advanced. A very quick and easy way to tell whether you're on basic, advanced, or comprehensive is if you go up to the help menu and go to About HeavyBid, you'll see what version and what edition of HeavyBid you're currently on, whether it will say basic, advanced, or comprehensive. To access the Audit Trail, you're going to go up to the Query menu. You're going to click on Audit, and that's going to bring up your Audit Trail. Now, new for 2017, we have filters. What you can do with your filters is you can filter down your audit trail based on a date range, a beginning and an end date. So if you just want to see a certain amount of time, you could do that. Also, if you have milestones set up, you can pick a starting and an end range. So I can pick when I turned it on, and I can filter down just to bid 10 and 20. So now I will get everything from when my audit trail was turned on all the way through bid item 10 and 20. If I click OK, all I'm going to see are those reflections, and you'll see my filter is now bolded. If I want to see cost changes, I can filter that down even further to only changes that were made greater than or equal to, say, 8,000. If I key in 8,000 here, I will have this bid 20 activity A will now be filtered out because the total is only 1,600, as well as bid 20 activity C with a total of 540. Those will be filtered out because they did not meet the filter criteria. Once you've set these filters up, if you want to clear them, a very easy way is to click on your filters, come in, hit Reset Filters. Click OK. Now everything's back. Within the filters, we have specific sections of filters for our cost changes, our bid summary changes, and our price changes. And those are reflective based on which tab in your audit trail you are currently on, whether it's cost changes, bid summary changes, or price changes. Along with the audit trail, we also have a new audit trail report. So if we go up to reports, and your audit trail report is going to be under your summary reports, and it is going to be called Audit Trail Report. It's also going to be one of our new Reports Plus style reports. And you can get what level of detail you want in this report. You can do a summary, you can do specific milestones, or you can do a full detail. You can show your cost changes, you can show your bid summary changes, or you can show your price change. You can show all of them or you can show none of them. And you can also group by the category, whether it's under what milestone or what category it is, so whether it's cost, summary, or price changes. You can also enable those same report filters that we saw in the audit trail here as well. So I can filter my report down just to that specific date range. I can filter down to a specific milestone, so on and so forth. Once I'm at this point, I can hit print, and it's going to generate my report. And here you're going to see all of the changes that were for that specific report. And you will see on the left-hand map, HeavyBid has broken it down to what category it is, whether it's a cost change, whether it's a bid summary change, or a price change. And as you're toggling through them, the report will automatically navigate to the beginning of that section. Now, as with all of our other Reports Plus format reports, we can export this out as a multitude of different file types, whether we want it as a PDF, a web page, an Excel file, a CSV file, just as a text file, or an image file if we choose to. And that's one of the beauties of the Reports Plus report. All right. Let's go ahead and let's move on. Next thing I want to talk about is our integration with our HCSS safety product. Now, to use our integration points, you also have to have HCSS safety. But to turn on the integration, there are two places we need to go. First thing we're going to do is go to our credentials.hcsapps.com website. If you do not have access to this, you'll need to get with your company admin and they will have access to this website. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to our licensing and go to our HeavyBid website, or go to our HeavyBid section under our licensing tab. You will see under Preferences, there is a checkbox that you will have to select, and it's Allow HeavyBid to integrate with safety data. You're going to have to click this checkbox first. Once you click it, you'll hit Save. Once you have enabled that preference on credentials, we can now go back into HeavyBid and go to Tools, Preferences, System. Then under System Preferences, it is now under Web Applications. You will see our safety integration. It's a whole selection area, and we click the checkbox that says Enable Safety in HeavyBid. If you're an enterprise customer, you determine which business unit you want to pull the safety data from. Once we have safety turned on, and since it is a system preference, it's going to be available for all of your bids and for all of your users. Safety integration is enabled within the activity codebook. So to set it up, we're going to go to Setup, Activity Codebook, and you will see a new section in the top right. We have our JHA, JSA, and AHA section, our meetings, and our inspections. To add them to our codebook, all you need to do is click the three-dot button next to the code, and it's going to bring up all of what you have in your safety application. In this case, I've got bridge work, clearing and grubbing, and concrete work. And I can access my trestle platform, aero bridge. I can select as many as I choose to add into my codebook. In this case, all you do is click the little checkbox and you'll show that on the right-hand side what has been added to your codebook. Same thing with meeting. I can pick whichever I choose to. You'll also see if you have anything prior, if it's highlighted in red, that means that that is no longer part of HCSS safety. To delete them, you'll come out and hit Delete Row. That's going to remove it from your codebook, and now you can select something new. So if you're going in cleaning up your meetings or inspections and you have them tied to your activity codebook, you'll want to make sure that you go into your codebook and clean that up as well. Once we have everything set up in our activity codebook the way we want, and we have pulled this activity into the bid, where it comes into play is in the export to heavy job. Once we export it over to heavy job, our meetings are going to show up under the Estimate Resources tab of heavy job. That's going to enable all of your foremen out in the field to determine what safety meetings they need to do for the day versus trying to remember them by hand or by memory. All right. The next thing that we want to cover is our production history changes. Prior to 2017, production history simply pulled based on the historical activity code. We've now given you search and edit functionality within those codes as well. So as a quick recap, to enable production history integration, just like we did with safety, we have to go to our credentials website, and under our licensing tab in HeavyBid, we need to allow the preference, allow access to heavy job data for production history in HeavyBid. Once we do that, we can go to Tools, Preferences, and System. If you're currently using production history, you will know that the system preference was under System Preferences Production History. We've now consolidated both production history and safety under Web Applications. And just like within safety, we have to enable production history in HeavyBid. We have to click the little checkbox, and under Enterprise Business Unit, if you are an enterprise customer, select the business unit you want to pull data from. Now to access production history, we're going to change the binocular shortcut that we see in the tree view, which previously took you to cost history. If you click me, that's going to change that user preference and change it to open production history. Once you set that preference, we can now go back into the tree view, and if we go into any activity, we can click on the little binoculars in the top right, and that's going to bring up our production history analysis. At this point, it's going to do its standard search. It's going to search based on the historical activity code, and it's also going to search based on your filters. Now, based on 40 acres and a quantity variance of 25% from the last 1 year, I don't have anything. If I expand my variance and apply that filter, I now get a few entries. From here, I can see what job code that it was pulled from. I can see the historical activity code. I can see the cost code description, my quantity, my units per shift, and my man hours per unit. If I want to, I can also show my unit cost. And that's going to give me my cost per unit. With that, I can copy however many rows that I want into my activity notes, and I could also use the production rate and copy that into my production rate for my activity as well. So if I hit return history, you'll see my production rate has changed as well as my quantity has changed. And if I click on my activity notes, my production history has been appended to my activity notes as well as the results. So if your chief estimator goes, how did you get that production information? You can show them right in the activity notes from your true live data from Heavy Job. Now with the search, if I go back to my production history, you'll know that it automatically pulls based on the historical activity code. Well, what if I want to search for something different? Just for instance, if I want to search my RCP pipe, I can hit search, and it'll return historical information based on my search criteria. In this case, 30-inch RCP. I can search grub, and it'll bring in whatever I have that matches grub. In this case, I just have one code. So we've shown you how to search for it, but what if I want to edit any of my historical codes? I can close, and if I can go to my Tools, Preferences, System, If I go back to web applications, there's going to be a link that says update historical activity codes. And that's going to bring up a code search. From here, I can search whatever I choose to, and it's going to bring in my different RCP. And it's going to give you the historical activity code. If I want, I can change those historical activity codes. The thing you want to be careful with this is any changes you make here will be saved in credentials. They are not going to go back down to HeavyJob. So if for any reason on HeavyJob they clear and rebuild the job, this information is going to be wiped out and you'll have to repopulate it. So that's something you want to be aware of. From here you can copy them one by one, or if I wanted to, I can copy a specific code into whatever code I select. I can copy that and apply it. If I hit save, my new historical activity code for all of my RCP is now AB. If I add an activity code of AB and search for it, if this falls within my filter criteria, it'll now populate. All right. And moving on to the final piece of what's new for HeavyBid 2017, we now integrate with a new third-party Richardson estimating. Richardson estimating is similar to our RS means data in the fact that it is subscription-based, and we give you new activity codes based on Richardson criteria. If you go to your Tools menu, you'll see a new link for Richardson. If you do not currently have a Richardson subscription and you click on the link for Richardson, it's going to take you to a help site that tells you how to get Richardson. If you do have a Richardson subscription, you have to assign the Richardson license. So if we click on Richardson and click the drop-down, we get an option to assign Richardson licenses. If you're on a standalone system, it is automatically assigned to your standalone license. If you're on a multi-user system, you'll see all of your user accounts, and you will need to pick and choose who you want to assign it to. So if you have 5 licenses, you can assign it to 5 different users. And it's just clicking the checkbox next to their user ID. Once you have the license assigned, if it's your first time downloading the Richardson data, you need to go to Tools, Richardson, and download the Richardson update. That's going to ask you for your system admin password. If you do not know what that is, ask your system admin. Once you've downloaded the update, you can go to any bid item and click on the Add Sort Activities, and you'll see down at the bottom you now have a new Richardson section. If you expand that, you will see all of Richardson's data, and you can pick and choose what you want to do. In this case, clear and grub. Let's look at site work. We'll go to clearing and grubbing, and we can bring in their historical activities. We can add in their quantity. Depending on what it is, you might get some additional information. In my case, my clearing and grubbing activities do not have a specific quantity or anything attached to them. From here we can assign whatever quantity we want. Click OK, and you will see under the activity code, if you want to very quickly see which ones are Richardson and which ones are not, all Richardson codes are designated with an RI at the beginning of the activity code. And then you will get the Richardson data after that. All right. One thing to add that was not part of the agenda is the new HeavyBid icon. If you have updated 2017, or if you are considering update to 2017, something to be aware of is we have changed our new icon, or we have changed our icon to launch HeavyBid. So what you want to pay attention to is now the icon, instead of a guy in a hard hat, it's now going to be a green icon with a piece of parchment with a dollar sign on it. So if after you update to 2017 and you don't see the guy in the hard hat, you want to look for this icon. Everything else is going to look the same. Now, I know that is a lot of information to take in. If you have any questions, or you're not quite sure and you want to reference without going back to review the entire video, and you want to just get a README version, under help.hcss.com, you can key in what's new, and you'll see what's new HeavyBid 2017. And that's going to give you additional information. Now, the what's new will give you more of an overview of each product, and then if you want to drill down even further, you can click the link with each article, and that's going to take you into how to set it up. For instance, safety integration. We give you a link to how to set up the integration with HCSS Safety. Following the link, it's going to take you to the how-to page. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what's new with HeavyBid 2017.